Yes, when it comes to a $1,400 fourth stimulus check specifically focused on Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, no income, seniors, older adults, and of course, people with disabilities. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now this is a great question and a concern that I've seen showing up down below in the comment section from many of you right here in the community, asking for the latest updates on this, especially now that we've turned over to the new year a short time ago, and now that the new Congress is in place, some of you have been reaching out asking, can you give us an update on this? We're a little bit concerned about the situation, and we want to know where we currently stand with everything going on. So yes, I want to bring you that information right here in the video. Let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on as things are changing very rapidly. And of course, I always want to point out anything that may impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, or anything popping up you can possibly grab and or take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, or anything else like that. Of course, I want you to know about it right away. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication. That's my commitment. And as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about your major concerns and the major questions coming in regards to 2023 and what is going on here with the new year, the new Congress, and all of this other business that we've seen here over the last several weeks. There's a lot of things that are changing. What does this mean for all of us? Yeah, good questions. Let's break it all down. All right, so here's what's interesting about it. So during the last couple months of 2022, if you've been watching the channel for the last few months here, you've heard me say a lot of people out there, economists, experts, a lot of very highly influential people, CEOs, big bank CEOs, a lot of big people out there have been suggesting 2023 is going to be the year of reckoning. Well, kind of been a weird year so far already, right? I'm not sure if you think so, but I honestly think it's been a super weird year so far. However, just based on everything that's going on so far, and we're not even that far into the year so far, right? There's a lot of months left, right? Well, as a result of everything going on right now, and again, the impending recession that we have here on the horizon, as many people are coming out, and the economic factors and all of the details coming out right now are suggesting, yeah, for sure, there's going to be a pretty good recession in 2023. Now, again, we'll have to see what happens here. Only time will tell on this thing, but it's going to be a matter of, okay, is there a recession? And if so, how bad is it really going to get? And again, we don't really know those details quite yet. And again, of course, we can always look at the statistics, we can look at the models, we can look at all the data and things like that. But realistically, until we're in the heat of the moment, we really have no idea, right? It's like the storm, right? We have no really idea what the storm's really going to be like until we're right there in the storm saying, wow, look at this, we're in the storm. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see what actually happens here when this economic storm actually happens, provided, the economists and everything that we're looking at actually does potentially come true right now this year, right? So when it comes down to it, I've seen a number of concerns down below in the comment section from many of you here in the community saying, with this recession coming, with all of the economic data contracting, everything like this, it sounds like there's probably going to be the likelihood of a check in 2023. And again, I want to say this much. According to what we're seeing, yes, like we always know, recessions do provide stimulus checks. Does this one mean it's going to provide a check? Well, if we look back in history, the data would suggest that, yeah, recessions do bring checks. So I would say there's probably a pretty high likelihood of that. However, no guarantees as of right now. But here's the thing. Many of you here in the community have been wondering, things are super weird. A lot of people have been suggesting that stimulus checks caused all the inflation over the last couple of years. Again, you know where I stand on that. That's not really the case. There's no possible way that could be true simply based on the actual numbers behind it. But long story short, you've been wondering, will we be included for a check in the event that one is actually approved in 2023 or whenever they actually have to do something like this? The simple answer to the question would be, first off, no guarantees because I have no clue what Congress is going to do, but I can tell you this much. You were included on check number 1, the $1,200 back in early 2020. You were included on check number 2 back in late 2020. You were included for check number 3 in early 2021. If there happens to be another check this year, 2023, I would say there's a very, 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 very high likelihood that yes, you would also be included as well. Now again, I cannot say 100% simply because I don't know. Maybe there's some weird language in there for some reason that says something like a check is going out to these groups of people, excluding fixed income beneficiaries. Highly doubt that that would be the case, but you never know. Congress sometimes adds some weird language into these bills. I want to say this much. The likelihood of another check and fixed income beneficiaries, including all the beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of this video, being included for another check is very, very high in the event of another check actually being distributed, okay? Again, like I said, I cannot say 100% because honestly, I don't really know. I do not know if Congress would actually, who the checks would be eligible for. But let me say this much as well. And again, please don't be worried about this. Seriously, if there happens to be another check, again, as close to 100% as we could possibly get, I would say that would be the likelihood of the fixed income beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of this video actually being included, okay? So I would not worry about it one bit. I would worry more about Congress actually approving a check versus actually you as a fixed income beneficiary or somebody low income actually being included. But here's what I want to point out as well. Remember this much as well. Checks are distributed to those individuals with an income under certain thresholds. Remember, it's always about income thresholds. They never say, if you fall into this category, you're included. If you fall into this category, you're not included. However, there is one exception to the rule. Dependents, adult dependents in some checks did not get them. However, the person claiming the person as an adult dependent was the person who got the check, okay? Other than that, that's about it, okay? Other than that, most everybody got checks within the certain income thresholds, okay? Remember that. Generally, it was about $75,000 as an individual, $150,000 as a married couple. Those are the thresholds that they had with the previous checks, and I would anticipate this year, if they happen to approve another one, then yeah, the income thresholds will probably be around that same range. Maybe they give or take $10,000, maybe $5,000, maybe $20,000. I'm not really sure. I'm just saying the income thresholds will likely be very similar to what they were with the last few checks that went out. Like I said, 75 grand as an individual, 150 as a married couple, in the event that they actually do pass something. And again, I feel like I've made it pretty clear throughout this video. As of right now, a check has not been passed yet. But again, we have to watch the economic situation and will this recession actually come into fruition like many people are suggesting? If that's the case, the likelihood of another check just continues to increase more and more, right? And again, I just want to make that very clear. So as of right now, in the event of another check, the likelihood is very, very high that fixed income beneficiaries would be included. Remember, it's all about income. Because why do they use income as thresholds for who gets a check? Because it's an advance on a refundable tax credit out of the IRS that would generally show up on a tax return, right? So what does the IRS look at? Do they look at your Social Security benefits? Well, maybe, but they look at income, right? The IRS looks at income. They want to know how much money you're making these days and how much of it is taxable, right? That's what the IRS wants to know. They want to know, are you paying your share of the taxes that you have coming due, right? And remember, the higher that your income is, the more you pay in taxes, right? So when it comes down to it, the IRS and these thresholds and your tax returns and things like that and a refundable tax credit, it's all based on income. How do you get all this? Well, if your income is below the thresholds, winner, winner, you win and you get a check, right? If you make too much money, well, sorry, you might not be eligible, right? But again, as a fixed income beneficiary, is income your issue? Generally, too much income is probably not your issue if you're a fixed income beneficiary, right? Too little income? Well, yeah, that's another story. That's a whole other discussion that we can have in a separate video. But yeah, generally for a fixed income beneficiary, it's all about too little income, right? It's never about too much income. So I hope that kind of answers your question. So for those of you that have been concerned because of the new year rolling over and the new lawmakers in place now for quite a while, as a result of them, coming in as the midterm elections last year in November of last year, and everything else, this is what it comes down to. So again, it all comes down to the economic picture, the likelihood of another check, if Congress actually does something in the event of a recession, which again, I can't imagine that they won't, because they have virtually every single recession for the last, call it 22 years. So I can't imagine why they would not approve another one, but you never know. Maybe something would change this time. I can't imagine that. I don't know why it would. Nothing ever changes. It's just the same thing over and over. We see the same thing repeat over and over in history. So why this time would be different? It's not going to be. It's just going to be the same old thing. Anyway, hope this one helps you to better understand what's going on. Again, I will continue watching all this information very closely. As I dig more details, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it down into these short videos to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Also, thank you so much for sharing these videos with your friends, family, social media. I really do appreciate it. Also, go back and check out some of the other thousands and thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. And always leave your comments, your questions, and your feedback down below. Again, if I need to come back and make another dedicated video to this, of course, I can always do that. But I want to do whatever I can to make sure that you are reassured I'm here for you. Of course, I'm doing all the research, and in the event of another check or money or benefits or programs of any kind, of course, I will bring it to your attention right away. I truly want to make sure that you're helping, that you're getting as much as you possibly can, as in help that's going out right now through these programs and everything else. I want to make sure that you're grabbing as much as you can, because here's the thing. A lot of times you're not going to get notified any other way. Do they call you up on the phone and say, hey, you know, we got a program here. You can get some money. You can get some benefits. You can get some free stuff. You want to take advantage of it? No, they don't do that. They don't call you. They don't send you a letter. They don't send you an email. Generally, so you need to hear about it, or you need to learn about it some way. Well, that's why I'm doing all the research, because I want to bring all this to your attention. So hope that makes sense. Anyway, leave your comments, questions, your feedback down below. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and enjoy your day. I'm here for you. Please remember, I want to do whatever I can to address all of your concerns, answer your questions, and just literally be here right by your side, like I've always said. So enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the next video. Have a good day, and I'll see you again soon.